We honored what we felt were the 10 scariest games ever made several years ago, and interactive fear is a hard thing to definitively measure. For Halloween 2014, we decided to rank them by pure quality, of games that clearly belong in the horror genre, considering one entry per franchise. Which are the best? What games would we play again and again, not for guaranteed frights, but because they're still eerily satisfying years or even decades later?
You've been chosen.
Billed as the world's first interactive teaser, PT transcended demo status and surprised horror fans everywhere when it was revealed to be the precursor to Silent Hills. Originally conceived as a marketing event, on its own, the teaser succeeds in emphasizing ambiance and disturbing imagery in place of gore. Players explore endlessly looping hallways, piecing together cryptic messages to reveal an insane, gruesome tragedy. It's hard to shake the eerie resonance of baby giggles, gouging the eye from a photograph, or the bloody refrigerator swimming above our heads. 2 words: sink fetus. Developed by Visceral Games, Dead Space sets a high bar for all of sci-fi horror. Isaac Clarke, an engineer, is sent to the USG Ishimura to investigate a distress signal. When aboard the ship, players are haunted by unknown whispers, spooky silence, and scenes of death that leave a constant residue of tension and despair. With sublime lighting and sound, it shuffles its grisly enemies around in a way that took us some time to get used to, using unconventional weaponry and hunting for weak points in odd locations. It all creates an unforgettable atmosphere that helps keep us up at night.
Am I going crazy? Will you be able to live with yourself knowing what I'm gonna make you do?
Shinji Mikami's long-awaited return to horror was well worth the wait. The descent into madness touches on some of the genre's best tropes, including gothic mansions, demented torture chambers, and psychologically tormented kin. The sense of dread is heightened by having a limited ammo supply, never knowing reality from delusion, and suffering some truly disturbing imagery. It might not offer scares in the traditional sense, but it does present scenes so twisted, it takes your eyes a few seconds to process them. It's one of the best horror games we've played in a while. Like other games on this list also illustrate, horror is at its best when placing the player within the mind of madness. When one can't trust the world around them, the information given to them by their own eyes, the only direction you can go is down. Amnesia makes insanity and helplessness so palpable that the player can't be sure if that teeth-grinding sound is coming from their headphones or their mouth. No weapons, no fighting, sanity constantly fading away. It's the unique gameplay in Dark Descent that makes it still stand out in the genre, and our memories. Few games nail isolation and dread the way System Shock 2 does. Hearing the infected monsters shout, "Silence the Discord," as they charge through the steel corridors of the Von Braun still makes us jump today. Even more discomforting is the Shodan, an all-powerful artificial intelligence. She knows precisely what you're gonna do before you do it, and mocks your meager attempts. The player is little more than a puppet in her grand scheme, leading to horrifying moments as she viciously pulls the strings.
Be ready for death, Agent Thomas. It shall come visiting again.
Appearing near the launch of the Xbox 360, Condemned isn't for everyone. It's a first-person game with hardly any shooting, but as the years have passed, it still maintains its edge by being a raw, unsettling experience. As a police investigator hunting an attention-starved serial killer, you spend a lot of time peering through dimly lit environments when you're not clubbing irate vagrants to death. Your inability to sense danger coming or stop it from a distance creates tension as you put together the clues in each environment. It paved the way for games like Dead Island and ended up being one of the creepiest games of its generation.
I don't want to kill anyone.
Countless horror games let players frantically shoot and slash their way out of danger, but these simple solutions don't exist in Fatal Frame. You have to reduce your vision by looking through the lens of a camera and lining up a shot to dissipate the spirits lunging after your life energy. The mechanic forces you to stare down terror before bringing it down, creating a specific kind of claustrophobia that has never been replicated. The whole series is haunting, but we're giving the nod to Fatal Frame 2. Uncovering the secrets of Minakami Village and the Crimson Sacrifice ritual felt more sinister than anything present in the other games. The horror genre usually employs an assortment of fantastical monsters or unsympathetic killers, but in Fatal Frame 2, you fight tormented ghosts, forever reliving the atrocities that trapped them in their ethereal state.
Imprisoned. Thou hast seen the last of this world.
While many games create tension and set an eerie tone, few harness psychological horror, like Eternal Darkness. Its dark Lovecraftian tale spans history, and as its main protagonist reads from a book made of human flesh, it soon becomes apparent that the terrors it describes are not so far away. As each character's sanity meter drops, you begin to lose track of what's real and what's hallucination, and some effects even target the player, masterfully breaking the fourth wall. The audio design is perhaps the most powerful as whispers and screams seep into your brain, and some tones are even crafted to make your pets go wild. The remake of Resident Evil is still a graphical showcase over a decade later in SD or HD. An abandoned mansion full of sinister traps, bioengineered beasts, and the Walking Dead is brought to life thanks to stark lighting and realistic shadows. Zombies lurk around unsuspecting corners and come back to life as terrifying crimson heads unless dealt with properly. The sense of fear is heightened as fiercer monsters gradually enter the fold and precious supplies dwindle away. Each enemy encounter is an intimate life and death experience with an impact rarely seen in future installments of the franchise.
In my restless dreams, I see that town.
The master of atmosphere, anguish, and dread is Silent Hill 2. Not only is it a shining lesson in how to build terror, but also an example that things are scariest when they actually mean something. Everything in the game is there for a reason. The town is a shattered memory, the enemies are twisted, repressed elements of James's guilt-ridden mind, and the people you meet are fractured extensions or maybe examples of James's own unfortunate journey through life. Silent Hill 2 is horror at its best. When you finish the game, you feel like you've changed along with the character. No matter which ending you receive, you're left feeling disjointed and hollow. That's when you know you're playing a good horror game.